Good evening, folks. And tonight, we're going to talk about something that I haven't really talked about much. We talk about we've talked about the transfer portal before, but this is a little different. And I understand that some of these are named to be true. Now, now we're going to talk about like some of these quarterbacks at Ohio State. Now, I don't know much about that team up north. Now, I understand some of those quarterbacks have left, but we're going to talk about some what ifs in this situation, okay? First, we're going to talk about the truths, then we're going to go back on that and see the what ifs. Now, first off, we'll talk about our current status right now. We obviously have our current quarterback situation right now. We have Kyle McCord as the starter. Then you have Devin Brown as the backup. But prior to that, back in 2018, we had Dwayne Haskins and Joe Burrow. Still not sure. Joe Burrow was there prior to that. But then, it was a toss-up between Joe Burrow and Dwayne Haskins. Joe Burrow didn't get to start. Dwayne Haskins did, so Joe Burrow transferred to LSU. Then the following year, in 2019, the transfer portal was created. So, then Dwayne Haskins leaves. So, Justin Fields was at Georgia. Didn't really get much playing time, so he jumps on the transfer portal, leaves Georgia for Ohio State. Well, leaves for Ohio State. Then Tate Martell transfers to Miami. Then we have our current situation. C.J. Stroud is named starter. Jack Miller transfers to Florida, and Quinn Ewers transfers to Texas. Now, let's talk about these quarterbacks here. Justin Fields, the purpose of Tate Martell being at Ohio State that year was the Rose Bowl. He was going to stick around and play. Now, if he would have stayed one more year and actually would have been named starter over Justin Fields, I'm sure he probably would have been there. Now, on the other hand, Joe Burrow probably would have played out. If Joe Burrow would have been picked over Dwayne Haskins probably would have transferred. Dwayne Haskins probably would have transferred out. So, now where to? Who knows? Because it didn't happen. Joe Burrow finishes his year out. Then we come down here to the Tate Martell and Justin Fields issue. Tate Martell versus Justin Fields. Justin Fields has his opportunity. He transfers out. I mean, one of these two Justin Fields might have gone elsewhere. Justin Fields might have gone to Penn State, because that's where he originally committed to, but then he went to Georgia. He made a verbal commitment to Penn State, but then he quickly jumped on the Georgia bandwagon and went to Georgia. Then after that, see ya. He jumped on the transfer portal and went to Ohio State. All because Dwayne Haskins left. See ya. Now, Tate Martell, on the other hand, highly recruited quarterback. I mean, everybody looked up to him. Very good, talented quarterback. He was one of those people who were really good, and I mean, phenomenal. Out of Nevada. He was really good right out of Nevada. Now, on the other hand, you couldn't really look past him. Now, you look at Tate Martell. That's the same person we're talking about. But then, Justin Fields out of Georgia comes in. Really good player. Another good quarterback. It's quite interesting how that works out. Then you get C.J. Stroud out of California. And then Jack Miller out of Arizona. and Quinn Ewers out of Texas. Quinn Ewers is a different story. He never really was a true Buckeye. He was more of a Longhorn from the start. He was just here for the money. At that time, Texas wasn't really giving it. He was just here for the money. So he hops up here for the money, then he jumps on the transfer portal and leaves back to Texas where he originally wanted to go to school because they weren't giving out any money at that time. So when he went down there for the NIL, because that's the NIL money, that is. So once he backed on the transfer portal and went down to Texas, he got it. Now, Jack Miller, on the other hand, he wanted to go somewhere, and he got somewhere. C.J. Stroud, he finally got 2 times to start at Ohio State. Such a disappointment. He's got some good talents ahead of him. Now, Justin Fields was a hell of a good quarterback. I mean, Justin Fields could throw the ball. He is pretty much the top quarterback that could throw. Georgia lost a good quarterback through Justin Fields. Now, Tate Martell, he never really got any playing time even at Miami, I saw. He never really got any playing time at Miami either, like he did Ohio State either. Now, Justin Fields, on the other hand, he saw lots of playing time. He jumped on the portal to get more time. But Joe Burrow, let's say Justin Fields went to Penn State instead and Tate Martell got the start. And Joe Burrow was still there, but yet, who knows? Say Joe Burrow stayed and Dwayne Haskins transferred. Nobody really knows how this whole thing would have worked out. Now, down here, who knows? Say Quinn Ewers actually wanted to be a Buckeye. Not necessarily just be a Texas person, but wanted to be a Buckeye. Jack Miller, who knows? Jack Miller would have been C.J. Stroud's spot. C.J. Stroud might have transferred. One of these guys would have been a transfer, regardless. Well, what are your thoughts on all this? And tell me what you think of who would have been where if one of these guys didn't work out. Well, with that being said, I'm out of here. Hit the like button, hit the bell for notification. With that being said, I'm out of here. Peace.